Greetings, my fellow freedom sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful realms of planet Earth. Today's date is Wednesday, March 18th, 2026. This is episode 1948. Afroman trial, what we know about the wildest case in hip-hop right now. Before proceeding, you can follow me on multiple social media sites and podcast channels. Just type in Looky Luck number 3, Looky Luck Roman number 3 with 3 eyes, or Looky Luck Roman number 3 podcast. In addition, if you have any questions, comments, recommendations, all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use the quorum. Hit me via email to ll3.podcast@protime.me. If you want to donate, go to PayPal or me or Cash on app /Looky Luck number 3. Yeah, so I just found this out. They had an asteroid hit the northeast Ohio area, which is like Lake Erie. And there's some big booms they heard in that area, including Pittsburgh and I think Cincinnati as well, if I was correct. And no one's talking about it, right? Well, some scientists are, and they're saying, hey, NASA's not doing their job, right? Always got to think about that, folks. But fortunately, no one was injured, no one died, no damage was done, maybe in the lake itself. But we always got to pay attention. We're just little ants when it comes to the universe. So never take things for granted. Don't believe your arrogance will be the king of the crop. Because, to be very frank, like I said before, we're just little ants in the great universe we live in. So, and the whole song and dance was going on with the world. And I'm not going to be ranting about that. So, I just checking on this trial that's happening in Adams County, Ohio. Reference to a gentleman named Afroman. If I'm correct, his real name is Joseph Foreman. He's been around for a good period of time. And it looks like Adams County Sheriff's deputies is filed a lawsuit against him for defamation, invasion of privacy, and unauthorized use of their likenesses in videos and social media posts. The deputies claim they suffer humiliation, mental distress, and death threats due to content. Because what happened was it occurred when making all these claims. They had a warrant for drug trafficking and kidnapping, but no charges were filed. His place got busted and all that. So he decided to make videos. And I can say it's just going crazy, you know. And the Adams County's deputies are not that pleased. But without further ado, I'm going to read an article from hiphopwire.com. Afroman trial, what we know about the wildest case in hip-hop right now. The hilarious rapper is currently going toe-to-toe with Adams County deputies in one of the most hilarious lawsuits in recent memory. This is by Devonta Herring. It came out today. As it reads, what makes the Afroman trial so fascinating is that it sits right at the intersection of rap, comedy, police accountability, internet culture, and the First Amendment. At the center of it all, Joseph Foreman, better known as Afroman, who is now in an Ohio courtroom because sheriff's deputies said he crossed the line when he turned footage of a 2022 raid on his home into music videos, songs, social posts, and merch. I'm sorry. I'm getting a big kick out of this. As of Wednesday, March 18, 2026, the civil trial is still unfolding in Adams County, Ohio. So this is less a final verdict story and more a full breakdown of how a bizarre local raid became one of the strangest hip-hop legal battles in years. To understand why this even became a case, you have to go back to August 21st, 2022, when Adams County deputies raided Afroman's Ohio home while investigating allegations tied to drugs and possible kidnapping. The search tuned up no charges against him, but Afroman has long said the deputies damaged his property, tore through his home, and mishandled cash and taken during the search, including his claim that about $400 never made it back to him. Local reporting says an outside review found no theft and said the money issue was a miscount. Still, the bigger point is that Afroman came away from the raid feeling violated, embarrassed, and financially struck with damage he says law enforcement wouldn't cover. Instead of complaining about it, what Afroman does, he made content out of chaos. He used footage from his own home security cameras in songs like Lemon Pound Cake and Will You Help Me Repair My Door, with videos showing deputies entering his property, breaking down the door, and moving through the house with rifles drawn. Afroman's side says he's used that footage to tell his story and help pay for repairs, while deputies say their faces and identities were put on blast in a way that turned them into internet jokes, invited threats, and damaged their reputations. That's where the lawsuit comes in. 7 law enforcement officers sued Afroman in 2023, originally throwing multiple claims at him, including commercial use of their likenesses, invasion of privacy, false slight, emotional distress, and defamation. But now every claim survived. The court dismissed the misappropriation of likeness claim, while the false light, invasion of privacy, and defamation claims were allowed to proceed to trial separately. Fox 19 reported that Afroman's own countersuit over property damage and related issues was dismissed ahead of this month's trial. So the case that's being argued now is much narrower than the headlines sometimes make it sound, but it still carries a huge underlying question. How far can an artist go when criticizing cops using real footage from his own home? To be very honest, folks, are county sheriff's deputies governmental delegates? Absolutely. I recommend you look up Black's Law Dictionary. You can look it for yourself. I'll continue on. This week's courtroom moments are a big reason the story has gone viral all over again. Jury selection began on Monday, March 16th, with testimony in open phases rolling into the week. Afroman took the stand on Tuesday, March 17th, telling the jury that all of his is their fault. All this is their fault because, in his view, there would be no songs and no lawsuit if deputies had wrongly raided his house in the first place. Meanwhile, some of the deputies testified that the videos and Afroman's later online commentary brought ridicule, embarrassment, and even death threats. One deputy, Lisa Phillips, reportedly became emotional in court while Tied to the Case was played. And there's a little video clip here of Afroman's testimony, but I'll just continue on. Oops. Let me see here. Sorry about that. What makes this whole thing feeling bigger than one weird lawsuit is that both sides are arguing about more than hurt feelings. Deputies are basically saying Afroman's jokes, lyrics, and posts went beyond commentary and became harmful, false, and invasive. Afroman, backed publicly by free speech advocates like the ACLU, is arguing the opposite, that is protected criticism of government actors performing government work, and that using the art to clown a fruitless police raid is exactly the kind of speech the Constitution is supposed to protect. That's why this case has people locked in on one side. It looks like a deeply unserious rap beef with law enforcement, and on the other, it could say something very serious about whether police can raid your home, end up on your cameras, and then sue you for embarrassing them afterward. Look, I'll be honest. I haven't really heard this gentleman's content, but I've seen some of the videos in reference to this matter. I find this very comical. I think it's great. Because remember that TV show Cops? All right? People's homes get raided. And how many of them were actually innocent? They go in their home, that's okay, right? But when it flips over, they wig out. Just giving you, like, they can do it to anyone, but if it happens to them, they all freak. Hey, he has a right. The man, that's his property. He has a right to have cameras in his facility. And you don't like it? Boo-hoo. Because one thing I can say about what Afroman did, you didn't get him mad, you inspired him. And now look what happened. I was watching some of the YouTube clips. There's like 2-3 million views past 3 years. Maybe go beyond on other channels. But here's the thing you gotta really look at. It's the Ohio Constitution, Bill of Rights, Article 1. Inalienable rights. All men, that's humanity, by nature free and independent, have certain inalienable rights, among which are those enjoined defending life and liberty, acquiring, possessing, and protecting property, and seeking and obtaining happiness and safety. This was effective September 1st, 1851. Let's see what else we got here. Right to peaceably to assemble, right? The bottom here, and to petition the General Assembly for the redress of grievances. Well, you know what? His video, he's redressing his grievances, correct? And I'm gonna hit the next one here, which is freedom of speech. Every citizen may freely speak, write, and publish his sentiments on all subjects, being responsible for the abuse of the right, and no law shall be passed to restrain or abridge the liberty of speech or of the press. Okay, so in all criminal prosecutions for libel, the truth may be given in the evidence to the jury, and if it shall appear to the jury the matter charged is libelous, is true, and was published with good motives, and the justifiable ends, the party shall be acquitted. That's Article 1, Section 11, freedom of speech of the press. So, I'll hit one more. Redress for injury due process, Article 1, Section 16. All courts shall be open to every person for an injury done him in his land, goods, persons, or reputation shall have the remedy to due course of law, and shall have justice administered without denial or delay. Suits may be brought against the state in such courts, and such matter may be provided by law, which got dismissed. Look at now the deputies trying to shoot it back at them about their reputation. All right, so and we'll just hit power reserved to the people, which is Article 1, Section 20. The enumeration of rights shall not be construed to impair or deny others retained by the people, and all powers not herein delegated remain with the people. So, everything he did is legit. Based on what I've examined, yes. So, Afroman should not be sued. If you want to dish it out, you better learn to receive. And the question is, for Sheriff Kenny Dick, what happened? No apologies or anything like that, allegedly. And we all know at this time, the case has been, has ended on today. The jury began deliberations on whether Afroman is liable. The center of the balance between free speech and privacy rights with implications of how public officials are critiqued online. The verdict is pending. So that's what we're trying to go after. And I'll be very frank. As far as I'm concerned, this is nothing new under the sun. Free speech is more important than your feelings. Afroman, or Mr. Foreman, did everything legit in Ohio's Bill of Rights. of course, the Bill of Rights of the United States of America. The fact is this. I can say some people will approve this message. Larry Flint, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce. Just give you 4. Would say, thumbs up, baby. And it makes me laugh. I haven't really laughed like this since the time when Two Live Crew got harassed in 1990 with Jack Thompson. Nick Navarro gave him a hard time. And, of course, they tried to get him on 70 charges, the Broward Sheriff's Office, and that was one big joke. No victim, no crime. And remember, to those deputies, you have an oath to protect and defend both U.S. and Ohio constitutions. And based on this testimony against Mr. Foreman, you already breached the oath. With all due respect and a good faith, your merits are void and without force. Labor already looking for a few clowns. You may be on that list. So I recommend you do some temp jobs instead of law enforcement. Could be a governmental delegate. You can't have both. No one revolves around you. You represent the people of the Buckeye State. Well, that's my intake on this. I would love to hear from you folks. So that is all. I thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share us on your social media networks. If there are questions, comments, recommendations, all that good stuff, whatever you do, please use decorum. Hit me via email to ll3.podcast@proton.me. If you want to donate, go to paypal.me or cash.app/Lucas3. If you want to hit hiphopwire.com, support them. Check it out. You have to be a fan of the music, but appreciate the articles like this with Mr. Foreman. And I think it's great. That's all I gotta say. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Till next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.